Growing a small account in trading, especially as a beginner, can be scary. I want to show you my approach on how to fix that. In this video, we're going to be assuming the position of a pretty much brand new trader growing maybe a $50 to $100 account. The approach you should take, the approach I think anyway, that you should take with now having 4 years in the market. My 4-year anniversary is just a couple days ago. And we're going to see if we can turn you into a much more comfortable, much more confident trader, even on those small accounts. Let's pretend for a moment that you have maybe between 6 to 12 months of experience in the markets. You haven't spent a huge amount of time yet. You're maybe not super certain about your system. Maybe you don't quite understand all of the terms, or you've been switching brokers and strategies and whatever, just trying to find something that works. We're going to pretend for this video that that is the situation you're in, that is the situation we are both in, and I'm going to explain the approach that I would take personally, now having those years of experience, to get over those hurdles. For the sake of this video, we are going to do the math with a $100 account just to keep the numbers nice and easy. $100 is usually a fairly achievable amount for most people. But if you can't get to that amount, say 50, something like that, right? You can do the same math with the same or with a relative number to your balance. But for the sake of this video, just to keep the math simple, keep all the numbers nice and easy to look at, we're going to pretend that we have a $100 account to our name, and we make the smart choice of having an income on the side. Whether you do things online, like freelance work or whatever, or you have an actual employed position somewhere, make sure that you have some kind of income to keep your mentality stable, to keep your mindset stable. Assuming you have about 6 to 12 months of experience, what we are going to do to turn you into a profitable trader is find a system that you like, that works for your schedule, right? If you have a lot of time available, get a system that you can put some time into. If you don't, pick a system that doesn't take that much attention every day, that doesn't take a whole lot of time. And once you have a system that you feel somewhat comfortable with, which might, take you like a week or two of just perusing YouTube for different strategies, but once you have a system that you like the idea of, what you're going to do is put those $100 in your trading account. And now, counterintuitively, your goal is to actually not make money. You really don't want to make money whatsoever, at least for the first 3 months. The first 3 months, you are not focused on making money at all. I don't care how long it takes. You need to take some time off right now and just beat it out of your head that you have a goal of making money. Making money right now, first of all, is not going to happen. So it should not be your goal. Right now, your goal is to learn trading. Your goal is to figure out how this game works. So what you're going to do once you have that money deposited in your account, those first $100 or whatever the number is, your goal is only to not blow up the account. Your first mission as a trader, at least if you want to take this seriously, is to survive. That's the first thing you need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to swim in this pool, basically. You want to not drown. You want to not blow up your account. For the first 3 months, at least 3 months, if you want to take it more seriously and you're more dedicated, you have more patience, do it for 6 to 12 months. But 3 months is the absolute minimum, where you will be trading on your live account, but with very small lot sizes. Your goal is not to make money. Your goal is only to not blow up the account and destroy it. For the sake of the argument, we're going to set a line at 80% of the account gone. That means if you have a $100 account, you do not ever want it to go below 20%. You are also going to take, as long as your system allows for it, I don't want you to force trades, but as long as your system gives you the entries, I want you to take at least 1 trade per week, and I want you to fully journal all of your trades that you take. The mistakes you make, the reason you got in, the reason you got out, everything about the trades for those 3 months will be journaled. If you can make it through those 3 months, again, at least 3 months, of not trying to make money and instead just trying to survive in the market, you get to move on to the next step. The next step is trying to make a little bit of money. In this next step, once you've passed phase 1 of this experiment, which again is basically just maintaining your balance above 20% of the initial deposit. So again, if you deposited $100, you're never allowed to go below $20. If you do, you start over and do another 3 months. If you can manage to survive those 3 months without ever going below $20, you are allowed to move on to the next phase. And the next phase is maintenance all the way up to slight profit. You have now managed to not completely blow up your account. You've managed not to completely nuke your balance, which is a start. Now your goal is to maintain or even slightly increase your balance. You will continue to take the same 1 trade at least per week, so long as your system allows for it. Maybe you're a swing trader or something and it doesn't quite give you a trade every week. But as long as your system gives you at least 1 signal per week, you are to take at least 1 trade per week. So you will maintain between 4 to 5 trades per month at least for another 3 months. However, seeing as you still have a stable income and have hopefully, in preparation to this phase, saved up some extra money on the side the last 3 months, you can now start to deposit into your trading account on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. Take whatever amount you can safely afford each month, and then either split that up into 1, 2, or 4 pieces, depositing it at stable and consistent intervals throughout the month. Whether you make a deposit on the 1st of the month, or a deposit on the 1st and the 15th, or the 1st, the 7th, the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, whatever, every week. Pick a time frame that you want, that you can consistently and in a stable manner deposit into your account. And now you want to make slight profit per month. So you are not only going to increase your balance because of the deposits, which should help keep your mentality and your mindset clear, knowing that you have continued profits coming in or continued balance increases coming in. You're now aiming for very slight profits. And I'm not saying like go for 10% profit. I'm saying go for like 0.5 to 1%. If you can finish the month with 1% of profit, you're completing the challenge. You can, if you want to not trade at all until the next month, where your goal is another 1% gain. Then the next month, the 3rd month, is again another 1% gain. Right now, your goal is not to make a massive amount of money, because you simply do not have the capital to make a massive amount of money. You don't even have the capital to make a meaningful amount of money. However, at this point, you'll have, by the end of those 3 months, you'll have 6 months worth of savings in the account, as well as any profit you may have potentially made. If you have passed both phases, that means not losing 80% of the account or more, and then also making at least 1 cent of profit by the end of each of those later 3 months, you get to move on to the 3rd and final phase, which is the scaling phase. At this point, you've spent at least 6 months, first of all, saving and growing your account. But more importantly, you've spent 6 months getting comfortable and familiar with your strategy. You've spent 6 months getting comfortable with your mistakes, with things that tick you off, that make your psychology go wonky, things that influence you. You've spent 6 months getting to know all of those things about yourself. And you have to keep in mind that trading is a game you're playing against yourself. You're not really playing against the market, because the market doesn't even know you exist. Trading is a game that you play against yourself. You are making the right choices and wrong choices. The market is not making any choices for you, right? It's not like a chess thing where it's a 1v1, right? You are fighting a nameless, brainless entity. Okay, you're just fighting yourself. You're not fighting the market. The market does not respond to what you do. You as the trader respond to what you do. So spending those 6 months getting familiar with your system, with the mistakes you make, things that tick you off, is what's really actually going to allow you now, at least 6, maybe 12 months, again, depending on the time you want to put in later, to make profits properly, right? To take advantage of the things you've learned. If you rush this process, you're only going to enhance the amount of mistakes. You're not going to actually increase your ability as a trader. If you want to take trading seriously and you want to make this a career choice and you find trading attractive in some way, right? It pulls you in with something. You have an interest in this as a career. I want you to take this seriously, like really seriously. Actually take the time to study this properly. Pick a system you like. Spend 3 to 6 months not losing any money, then spend 3 to 6 months maintaining or even slightly profiting, and then anything after that, you can start to slowly build towards the money that you want to actually make, right? The basic concept is that those first 6 to 12 months are spent not considering at all how much money you want to make. Okay, because the money you're making now is not relevant at all. Right now, you're building a system. You're building yourself up as a trader. The money starts to slowly transition into being what you want as you get more experience. If you focus on the money right away, let's say you have a day job or something, if you're in a Western country that pays you, $100 a day or something, and you have a $100 account, if you go into that thinking that you can make that $100 a day immediately off that $100 account, 9 times, maybe even 10 times out of 10, you are going to just blow up that account because you're going too big, too fast, because you're focused on the wrong thing. Your goal, again, for the first 3 months is only to not lose money or not lose too much anyway. The 3 months after that, are to maintain your money and to keep it there, keep it safe, keep it nice and secure, right? So you don't want to lose money and maybe even make a little bit of money. But when I say make a little bit of money, I mean make like a couple percent. I don't mean like making 50 or 100% profit. And then after that, after all of those phases, like both of those phases are successfully completed, then you can slowly start to build towards the money that you actually want to make. For the sake of the video here, we're going to pretend that you were able to save up $100 additional per month since depositing. So those 6 months that you spent means an extra $600. That means your trading account is now, if you maintained the balance successfully, at least $700, or on the lower end, something like $620, $650, somewhere there. If your account is now at 700 plus minus a little bit of the profit that you made from the second phase, you might be at around $750. Now what you can do is, instead of taking these tiny minuscule trades where you're only trying to make like 1 or 2% a month, now you can start to actually scale that up. I don't want you to scale it up quickly. I don't want you to scale it up immediately. I want you to continue the same trade size and then build it up as your profits grow. I want you to play only with your profits because, again, your job is to maintain capital. So even though your account is now 7.5 times the size, I don't want you to trade 7.5 times the size. I want you to trade the original size until you have enough profit in there to account for a few losses of twice the size, right? So then you're going from, if I'm putting a number on it, a 0.01 to a 0.02. You're not immediately going from a 0.01 to a 0.7, like a 0.07. It's going to be too big of a change, and you might make mistakes because of that, depending on the type of trader you are. You're going instead to continue with 0.01 until you have enough profit to afford a couple losses at 0.02. Once you can do that, you're going to trade 0.02 until you have enough profit to afford a couple losses of, can you guess? 0.03. You're going to repeat that for 0.04, going to repeat that for 0.05, and so on and so on and so on. Because your job, again, is to maintain your capital. Your whole job as a trader before making any money is to not lose any money. So you're only going to play with profits. Now, as you get better, and maybe even as you have seen on YouTube before, there are experienced traders that can, turn like a $50 or $100 account into $1,000, $1,500, even multiple thousands of dollars in a single day or even in a single trade. But you are not at that level yet, okay? Your goal is to make maybe a tiny little bit of money and then just consistently grow your account with deposits until the tiny percentages actually start to overtake the deposit amounts, at which point you can start to just snowball it from there. You're not trying to turn 100 into 10,000 in a day. You're more so trying to turn 100 to maybe 105 in a month. Okay, you're not trying to like double, triple, quadruple the account. You're trying to get slow, consistent growth until you're good enough to make money consistently out of the markets. And then you can start to worry about making more money faster. Because right now, you're just trying to replace previous income. That's as detailed and at the same time as simple as I can reasonably put this. I hope that it's understandable enough for you to be able to use it. And good luck in the markets.